Hi everybody, Coach Robert here. I've heard from a lot of you guys about pronation. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about pronation and explain what it is. So a lot of times what happens is we'll hear television commentators and so on say snap the wrist. That's not quite true. What they're actually talking about is that pronation action. So pronation simply means moving outwards. So sometimes you have pronated feet that go out, or the opposite way is called supination. So pronation is something that when you're serving happens at the very end of it. And it gets a little bit tricky because what happens is if you take a ball and you throw it and you use proper form, at this point in time, this motion here, that is pronation. That happens without too much problems. But when we have the tennis racket in our hand, because the tennis racket is so long, we go here and we end up not being able to pronate. And part of the reason for that is we have to go up, and it's easier to pronate up here versus down here. So we need to make sure. So if you go ahead and try pronating from this angle, it's very difficult. But if you go ahead and get your arm straight up, it's much easier to pronate. So we want to go ahead and get that extension so we can pronate properly. So we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about some progressions to get us there. So again, when you're throwing a ball and you throw it correctly, you will go and you will throw it, and then your hand will turn outwards. That's kind of like the follow through. So I'm not snapping my wrist, I'm turning my forearm, the entire forearm. So that's what we really have to do. So to go ahead and get started, just imagine, so we've talked about this, I've talked about it many times, that many of these sports are transferable, they're relatable. So if you go ahead and you just go like you're going to shoot a basketball, and you're just using your elbow and extending this part right here, you go here, that's the first step. So we want to make sure we go and we bend the elbow and extend this way. So now as we do this, what we're going to do is we're going to extend the elbow and turn the hand. So we're going to go forward and turn. Okay? Now, we're going to go ahead, and this progression will be just say you're doing a chop like this with your hand. You go forward like you're going to throw the basketball this way, but instead you're going with the edge this way. So you go up and turn, up and turn. So we go here, up and turn, up and turn. We go ahead then, move on to the next step. We're going to more of a throwing motion. We can even go ahead and do a take back, up, turn your body. We're in this position, up and turn, up and turn. Okay? If I were to do this faster, you're throwing a ball, it will happen very naturally. So we need to happen, the more you practice throwing a ball, the better it is. But release it from a little bit of a higher point. So now we go ahead and get the racket, and what we're going to do is we're just going to stand straight like this. We're going to keep everything, I'm on the right side, keep the racket on the right side of my body. So we're going to go down. Sorry about that. We go down and we come up, and then we go as high as we can on edge. So you're going to show like you're hitting the ball on edge. So you're just hitting it this way. Okay? So we go down, we come up, and we hit the ball on edge. And then we go again. And on edge. Now, the next thing we're going to do, so if I were to do this, I would hit a tennis ball, I would go like this, up, and I would hit the edge of the racket, okay? So now, as we continue, we go down, we come up on edge, and just before we go on edge, we're going to turn. So here we go, practice. Keep everything on the right side of your body. Turn, and then just come down. You can turn, and then come down, okay? So we go ahead and practice it this way. We go up, and we just toss the ball up in the air and turn. So we can get to this position right here, up here, and turn, okay? So you want to make sure. Again, let me remind you that if you do it down here, it's going to be very, very difficult. So you want to go ahead and reach up. And again, that reaching up and going as high as you can, that's an important part because that helps us to get downward force, helps us to hit the ball harder. Okay, so that's why you see professional players jump up in the air and reach up as high as possible, because the higher up you go and get it, the more you can slam on it. Okay? So that's what you want to be able to do. Down here is hard to slam. So, and that also helps you with the pronation. So now we go up toss the ball and turn it, okay? Now, why do we want pronation? It's gonna allow us to hit the ball harder. It's also gonna allow us to do kick serve, spin serve, all those kinds of things. So it's an important thing, but it's gonna take time. These things take a lot of time, okay? So go ahead and practice it regularly. So now we go ahead and do the full motion, your regular take back. Take the racket back, up, and then turn. So here, up, and turn. You see that turn motion there? I'm going very slowly. So then we go ahead and we do the same thing, but we go a little bit faster, and you will see it there maybe. Here, and you will see it there. This turn motion. Now, we continue. Right now I've been focusing on the pronation part and finishing more towards this side. Now we're going to continue. Oh, sorry, we're going to go ahead and pronate, and then we're going to finish on the correct side. But we want to make sure we have this turning motion first up here, and then we go on to the side. Up, extend, turn. So go ahead and practice your pronation, because that's going to help you guys to serve the ball a lot harder, get you some more power, get you some more spin, and it's a natural way to do it, because we don't throw balls like this. Okay, if you don't pronate, you're gonna do this motion, and if you have the wrong grip and you pronate, the ball will go to the side. Remember, it's that outward motion. So sometimes if the serve veers off a little bit to the right, it's because the grip isn't quite right. So again, make sure you practice on edge and turn. So that's the pronation part about it. I appreciate you guys tuning in today, and if you have any questions, please let me know. And go ahead and work on this, because it's going to take some time. But again, thank you so much. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate it. Thank you.